this chart 4.4 from the benchmarking study, shows us that cost, where the median caregiver acquisition cost. In other words, for every caregiver that you hired, how much was spent in these various areas. So if they said that the internet indeed was their number one recruitment source, we went back and looked at all of their costs associated with recruiting caregivers and did that calculation. And so those who were using Indeed on the median cost was $593 per caregiver. Using current employees, it was $640, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, as you look at this, you say, well, wow, why would I want to use employees? That's the most expensive way of recruiting caregivers. It is when it comes to the initial outlay of dollars to recruit. And that's most likely because you're paying extra bonuses, you're paying extra perks to your caregivers for recruiting their friends and family members. There's additional costs there. But one thing I want you to be and pay really special attention to is, what are the retention rates from each of these sources? I went back, and it was actually just this morning as I was looking at this in detail, I went back and pulled the data from the study, and I found it very interesting. Those who listed the internet, Indeed, Craigslist, MyCNA Jobs, or any other internet-related way of recruiting their caregivers, their caregiver turnover rate was 70.6%. So if they listed the internet as their top recruitment source, turnover rate last year was 70.6%. Those who listed referrals, employee referrals, referral sources, word of mouth, their caregiver turnover rate was 48.3%. Now ask yourself that question. Would you rather pay a little bit more, even $200 more if you compare MyCNA Jobs to current employees? Would you rather pay a little bit more to your employee to get a good quality referral, and then in turn be able to reduce your turnover by over 20%? I think all of us would say in a heartbeat. In fact, if you go back to our March core webinar where we talked about the true cost of caregiver turnover, we know that if you have an agency, let's say an agency of 100 caregivers, every time you lose a caregiver, that's going to cost you about $2,600 to replace that caregiver. So again, would you rather pay $200 more to an employee for a referral in order to retain a caregiver that the caregiver you lose is going to cost you about $2,600 to replace that caregiver? Anyway, just some things to consider as you look at the various recruitment sources. One is quantity, the other is quality, and you've got to make sure you got to have a proper balance of that in your organization.